vidofludimus calcium is a wonderful drug because we have this dual mode of action, which results in principle in a triple effect. So we have neuroprotection, we have anti-inflammatory effects, and we have the antiviral effects. So this is a wonderful combination to address the full underlying pathology of multiple sclerosis.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Dr. Helle Kohlhoff. She is the Chief Scientific Officer for Immunic Therapeutics. And Dr. Kohlhoff, great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks, and good to have you along. Excited to talk a little bit about a very special week, and it's which is MS Week, and really sort of talks about some of the challenges people are facing who are struggling with MS. And so I wanted to sort of get some thoughts from you. I mean, I know you deal with this every single day. Just some of the challenges that patients who are suffering from MS are having.
Yeah, that's definitely disability worsening. This is really the biggest fear for MS patients. And this means, in principle, the time until they end up in the wheelchair. And yes, the primary goal is to stay, for the patients, is to stay independent for as long as possible. And to maintain the physical and the social independence. So you can have issues with vision, fatigue, walking, mental stability, and so on. So it's really staying independent for as long as possible. And when it comes to disability worsening, there are two things that drive it. It's on the one hand side, it's raw, so it's relapse-associated worsening. And on the other hand, it's PIRA, so it's progression independent of relapses. And both is important for multiple sclerosis. For RMS, so relapsing MS, of course, we have the relapses, but there's in addition this constant neurodegeneration, which is 50% of the worsening is driven by neurodegeneration. So even in relapsing MS. And of course, in progressive MS, it's mainly the neurodegeneration what drives the disability worsening.
Now, I know that at Immunic, your mission is to help people and try to prevent that long-term disability. So maybe you can talk us through just how you're trying to do that.
Yeah, so we have this wonderful drug, vidofludimus calcium, and we found out that it has a dual mode of action. So it has Nurr1 activity, so it activates Nurr1 function, and on the other hand, it inhibits DHODH. So this means for neuroprotection, Nurr1 activation can provide neuroprotection. And this is important in the brain and in the spinal cord that we have a better nerve cell protection. But in addition, with having DHODH inhibition, vidofludimus calcium is reducing the inflammation and the Epstein-Barr virus reactivation, what is quite important in multiple sclerosis. And so the next step for us is quite soon in April of this year that we will have the CALLIPER readout. So CALLIPER is a clinical phase 2 study in progressive multiple sclerosis. And we really hope to confirm the direct neuroprotective effects for vidofludimus calcium. And this will be the first time that a drug can address, or a disease-modifying drug can address neuroprotection.
Yeah. Obviously, patients are concerned about safety profiles and things like that. And that's, I know, a big part of what the company is trying to do to ensure safety, but also that you're meeting the needs of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. And therefore, I would say that vidofludimus calcium is a wonderful drug because we have this dual mode of action, which results in principle in a triple effect. So we have neuroprotection, we have anti-inflammatory effects, and we have the antiviral effects. So this is a wonderful combination to address the full underlying pathology of multiple sclerosis. So protection of the neurons, reduction of inflammation, which again attacks the neurons, and blocking of reactivation of Epstein-Barr virus, which seems to drive a constant trigger. So if you don't block it, you have a constant trigger of somehow misled immune response. So antiviral and glial chem, human or brain protein, are attacked by the own immune system. So in addition to this, vidofludimus calcium has a favorable safety and tolerability profile. And we were able to see it in the clinical trials so far that we have a placebo-like profile with regard to adverse events. And we have an extremely low discontinuation rate over several years of the treatment during clinical trials. And
Yeah.
one really nice point in addition is that it's so easy to use. So it's a once daily small white tablet, and it's a high convenience for the patients and the treating physicians because there's no need for first dose or on treatment monitoring. So it's really easy to use.
Yeah. I know you mentioned clinical trials and sort of the timeline that has, but let's reiterate that again because I think it's important information to have out there. What should people be looking forward to in the next couple of months?
Yeah, so sure, happy to talk about this. So we think that Immunic is among the few companies with late stage oral DMTs in the development for multiple sclerosis. And we have a new mode of action which addresses not only the inflammation, what is true for other companies or for other drugs, but also the neuroprotection. And to be honest, we're a bit proud of this, to have a new mode of action in this broad field here. And for RMS, these are approval trials. So we have two parallel twin trials ongoing, phase 3 and SURE trials, and they are on track. And the completion of both trials is expected in 2026, so not too far away. But what is very, very soon is the CALLIPER study. So in PMS, it means that in April of this year, so within some weeks, we will read out the phase 2 study in progressive MS, which has a high importance because it might be indeed the first DMT which addresses the neuroprotection. And this is the highest unmet medical need in MS patients. So so far, there's only one approved drug for primary progressive MS, and nothing is approved for secondary non-active SPMS. So it's a huge upside potential and a big hope for the MS patients.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of them around the world for sure looking for answers, definitely. Dr. Koloff, thank you so much. Great to catch up with you and appreciate your insight on this this week where we take a look at the needs of MS patients. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Hella Koloff. She's the Chief Scientific Officer for Immunic Therapeutics.